7th week of live readings with Miss Julie. I am TJ, I'm our technical director. All the actors you'll be hearing tonight are volunteering their time and their talents from their homes to bring a little bit of entertainment into your homes. A couple of them just first met each other when they, about 15 minutes ago when they first logged into this Zoom meeting. We want to thank them all very much for joining us. We would also like to thank our friend, Your Friendly Neighborhood Shakespeare, for hosting this on his pages. You can check out his website at shakespeareapproves.com, his Patreon at patreon.com/Shakespeare. You can find out more about him at that website or by visiting his Facebook page. If you're not watching this on his Facebook page, Shakespeare Approves, Your Friendly Neighborhood Shakespeare. We're particularly excited to join him for his New Year's Shaken Eve on New Year's Shaken Eve. We'll have links to buy tickets for that event, as well as some of our other performer friends in the comments of this video. As always, we want to acknowledge and thank all of the medical professionals and essential workers who've been working tirelessly to keep us all as healthy and safe as possible. We also want to acknowledge, quite simply, that Black Lives Matter. If you are interested in more information about our totally volunteer organization, check out our website, zenithplayers.com. Feel very free to go check out our very attractive donations page. 100% of all donations go towards production costs, which these days consist of the various subscriptions that allow for these readings to happen. If you'd like to read with us in future projects, just send us an email at casting@zenithplayers.com and we will get you right on board. You can join us next Friday, as we present a live reading of Agamemnon by Aeschylus. But for now, relax and enjoy Emily Hood as Christine, E. Dale Smith Gallo as Jean, and Christina Koya as Miss Julie.
Tonight, Miss Julie is crazy again. Absolutely crazy.
So you're back again?
I took the Count to the station, and when I came back by the barn, I went in and had a dance, and there I saw a young lady leading the dance with the gamekeeper. But when she caught sight of me, she rushed right up to me and asked me to dance, and I a lady's waltz with her. And ever since, she's been waltzing like, well, I never saw the like of it. She's crazy.
And has always been, but never the way it's been this last fortnight since her engagement was broken.
Well, what kind of story was that anyhow? He's a fine fellow, isn't he? Although he isn't rich. But they're all so full of notions. It's peculiar how, anyhow, that young lady would rather stay home with the servants, don't you think, than to go with her father and their relatives?
Oh, I guess she feels sort of embarrassed by the rumpus with her fellow.
Quite likely. But there was some backbone to that man just the same. Do you know what happened, Christine? I saw it, although I didn't let on.
No, did you?
Sure I did. They were in the stable yard one evening, and the young lady was training him, as she called it. Do you know what that meant? She made him leap over her horsewhip, the way that you teach a dog to jump. And twice he jumped and got cut each time, and the third time he took the whip out of her hands and broke it into 1,000 bits. And then he got out.
So that's the way it happened, you don't say.
Yes. And how that thing happened. Well, Christine, what have you got that's tasty?
Oh, just some kidney, which I cut out of the veal roast.
Fine. That's my great deli. But you might have warmed the plate first.
Well, if you ain't harder to please than the Count himself.
Don't pull my hair. You know how sensitive I am.
Well, it was nothing but a love pull, you know.
Beer? On a midsummer's eve? No, thank you. I'll have something better myself. Yellow seal, mind you. Give me my glass and use those with the stems when you drink it pure.
Heaven preserve her. That gets you for a husband, Mr. Finicky.
Oh, rot. You'd be glad enough to get a smart fellow like me. And I guess it hasn't hurt you that they call me your beau. Good. Pretty good. Just a tiny bit too cold. We got this at Dijon. It cost us 4 francs per liter, not counting the bottle. And there was a duty besides. What is that you're cooking? That infernal smell.
Oh, it's some deviltry the young lady is going to give Diana.
You should choose your words with more care, Christine. So why should you be cooking for a bitch on a holiday eve like this? Is she sick?
Yes, she is sick. She's been running around with the gatekeeper's pug. And now there's trouble, and the young lady just won't hear of it.
The young lady is too stuck up in some ways and not proud enough in others. Just as was the Countess while she lived. She was most at home in the kitchen and among the cows, but she would never drive with only one horse. She wore cuffs till they were dirty, but she had to have cuff buttons with a coronet on them. And speaking of the young lady, she doesn't take proper care of herself and her person. I might even add that she's lacking in refinement. Just now, when she was dancing in the barn, she pulled the gatekeeper away from Anna and asked him herself to come and dance with her. We wouldn't act that way, but that's just how it is when upper class people want to demean themselves. They grow mean. But she's splendid, magnificent. Oh, such shoulders and so on.
Oh, well, don't brag too much. I've heard Clara talking. Who tends to her dressing?
Oh, Clara. But you're always jealous of each other. I, who have been out riding with her, and then the way she dances.
Say, Jean, won't you dance with me when I'm done?
Of course I will.
Do you promise?
Promise? When I say so, I'll do it. Well, here's thanks for the good food. It tasted fine.
I'll be back in a minute. You go ride in the meantime. Well, is it done yet?
The ladies are having secrets, I believe.
Well, that is for you, Mr. Pry.
Oh, what a delicious odor that violet has.
Oh, impudent. So you know something about perfumes also, and know pretty well how to dance. Now don't peep, go away.
Is it some kind of witch's broth the ladies are cooking on Midsummer's Eve? Something to tell fortunes by and bring out the lucky star in which one's future love is seen.
If you can see that, you'll have good eyes indeed. Put it in a pint bottle and cork it well. Come, dance a chateau with me now, Jean.
I don't want to be impolite, but I had promised to dance with Christine this time.
Well, she can get somebody else. Can't you, Christine? Won't you let me borrow Jean from you?
That isn't for me to say, when Miss Julie is so gracious. It isn't for him to say no. You just go along and be thankful for the honor too.
Frankly speaking, but not wishing to offend in any way, I cannot help wondering if it's wise for Miss Julie to dance twice in succession with the same partner, especially as people here are not slow in throwing out hints.
What is that? What kind of hints? What do you mean?
As you don't want to understand, I have to speak more plainly. It don't look well to prefer one servant to all the rest who are expecting to be honored in the same usual way.
Prefer? What ideas? I'm surprised. I, the mistress of the house, deign to honor this dance with my presence. And when it so happens that I actually want to dance, I want to dance with one who knows how to lead, so that I am not made to look ridiculous.
As you command, Miss Julie. I am at your service.
Don't take it as a command. Tonight we should enjoy ourselves as a lot of happy people, and all rank should be forgotten. Now, give me your arm. Oh, don't be afraid, Christine. I'll return your bow to you.
Crazy. That's what she is, the way she dances. And the people stand behind the doors and grill at her. Well, what do you think of it, Christine?
Oh, she has her time now. And then she is always a little queer like that. But are you going to dance with me now?
You're not mad because I disappointed you?
No, not for a little thing like that, you know. And also, I know my place.
You are a sensible girl, Christine. I think you'll make a good wife.
Yes, you are a fine partner running away from your lady.
No, on the contrary, Miss Julie, I have, as you see, looked up the one that I deserted.
Do you know, there is nobody that dances like you. But why do you wear your livery on an evening like this? Take it off at once.
Then I must ask you to step outside for a moment, as my black coat is hanging right here.
Are you bashful on my account? Oh, just to change a coat. Why don't you go into your own room and come back again? Or you can stay right here and I'll turn my back on you.
With your permission, Miss Julie.
Are you and John engaged?
Engaged? Well, in a way, we call it that.
Call it.
Well, Miss Julie, you have had a fellow of your own, and
Yeah, we were really engaged.
but it didn't come to anything, just the same.
Ah, très gentil, Monsieur Jean. Très gentil.
Voulez-vous planissier, madame?
Et vous voulez parler français? Ah, where did you learn it?
In Switzerland.
Huh.
Well, I worked as a sommelier in one of the big hotels at Lucerne.
But you look like a real gentleman in your frock coat. Charming.
Oh, you flatter me.
Flatter you.
My natural modesty does not allow me to believe that you could be paying genuine compliments to one like me. And so I dare to assume that you are exaggerating, or as we call it, flattering.
Where did you learn to use your words like that? You must have been to the theater a great deal.
Oh, that too. I've been lots of places.
But you were born in this neighborhood.
My father was a carter on the county's attorney's property right by here. I can recall seeing you as a child, although you, of course, didn't notice me.
No, really.
Yes, I remember one time in particular, but of that I can't speak.
Oh, yes, do. Oh, why, just for once.
No, really, I cannot do it now. Another time, perhaps.
Another time is no time. Is it as bad as that?
No, it isn't bad, but it comes a little hard. Oh, look at that one.
Oh, she'll make a pleasant wife. Perhaps she snores, too.
No, she doesn't. But she talks in her sleep.
How do you know?
I've heard it.
Why don't you sit down?
It wouldn't be proper in your presence.
But if I ordered you to do it?
Then I obey.
Sit down, then. But wait a moment. Can you give me something to drink first?
I don't know what we've got in the icebox. I feared nothing but beer.
And you call that nothing? My taste is so simple that I prefer it to wine.
Allow me.
Oh, thank you. Don't you want some yourself?
I don't care very much for beer, but if it is a command, then of course.
Oh, command? I should think a polite gentleman might keep his lady company.
Yes, that's the way it should be.
Drink my health now. Are you bashful? A big grown-up man.
To the health of my liege lady.
Bravo! And now you must also kiss my shoe to get it just right. Excellent! You should have been on the stage.
This won't do any longer, Miss Julie. Somebody might see us.
What would that matter?
Oh, it would set people talking, that's all. If you don't know how their tongues are wagging while a while ago there.
What did they have to say? Tell me, sit down, now.
I don't want to hurt you, but they were using expressions, which cast reflections of the kind that, oh, you know it yourself. You're not a child, and when a lady is seen alone with a man drinking, no matter if he's only a servant, and at night,
then what? And besides, we're not alone. Isn't Christine with us?
yes, asleep.
Then I'll wake her. Christine, are you asleep?
Blood.
Christine! Oh, God, did you ever see such a sleeper?
The cat's boots are piled on the coffee. Yeah.
You shouldn't bother those that sleep.
What's that?
One who has stood by the stove all day has a right to be tired at night, and sleep should be respected.
It is fine to think like that, and it does you honor. I thank you for it. Come now, pick some lilacs for me.
With you, Miss Julie?
With me.
But it won't do. Absolutely not.
I can't understand what you are thinking of. You couldn't possibly imagine.
No, not I, but the people.
What? I'm fond of the valet.
I'm not at all conceited. But such things have happened. And to the people, nothing is sacred.
You are an aristocrat, I think.
Yes, I am.
And I am stepping down.
Take my advice, Miss Julie. Don't step down. Nobody will believe you did it on purpose. They will always say that you fell down.
I think better of the people than you do. Come and see if I'm not right. Come along.
You're mighty queer, do you know?
Perhaps. But so are you. And for that matter, everything is queer. Life, men, everything. Just a mush that floats on top of the water until it sinks down. I have a dream that comes back to me ever so often, and just now I'm reminded of it. I have climbed to the top of a column and sit there without being able to tell how to get down again. I get dizzy when I look down, and I must get down, but I haven't the courage to jump off. I cannot hold on, and I'm longing to fall, and yet I don't fall. But there will be no rest for me until I get down, no rest until I get down on the ground, and if I did reach the ground, I should want to get still further down into the ground itself. Have you ever felt like that?
No. My dream is that I'm lying under a tall tree in a dark wood, and I want to get up to the top so that I can look out over the smiling landscape where the sun is shining, and so that I can rob the nest in which lie the golden eggs. And I climb, but the trunk is so thick and so smooth, and it is so far to the first branch. And I know that if I could just reach that first branch, then should go right to the top as on a ladder, but I've not reached it yet. But I am going to, if only in my dreams.
Here I am chattering to you about dreams. Come along, only into the park.
We must sleep on 9 midsummer flowers tonight, Miss Julie. Then our dreams will come true.
Oh, let me see. What do you have in your eye?
Nothing, just some dirt. It will be gone soon.
No, it was my sleeve that rubbed against it. Sit down, let me help you. Sit still now, absolutely still. Absolutely still! Why can't you do as I say? I think you're shaking, huh? Big strong man like you. With such arms.
Miss Julie.
Yes, Monsieur Jean.
Attention. Je ne sais quoi en.
Can you sit still? There now. Now it's gone, huh? Kiss my hand now, thank me.
Miss Julie, listen to me. Christine has gone to bed now. Won't you listen to me?
Kiss my hand first.
Listen to me.
Kiss my hand first.
All right, but blame nobody but yourself.
For what?
For what? Are you still a mere child at 25? Don't you know that it's dangerous to play with fire?
Not for me. I'm insured.
No, you're not. And even if you were, there are inflammable surroundings to be counted with.
Oh, that's you, I suppose.
Yes. Not because I am I, but because I'm a young man.
Of handsome appearance. What an incredible conceit. A Don Juan, perhaps. Or a Joseph. Oh, on my soul, I think you are a Joseph.
Do you?
I fear it almost. Shame!
Was that in play or in earnest?
In earnest.
Then you were in earnest a moment ago also. Your playing is too serious. And that's the dangerous thing about it. Now, I'm tired of playing, and I asked to be excused in order to resume my work. The Count wants his boots to be ready for him, and it is almost midnight already.
Put away the boots.
No, it's my work, which I am bound to do. But I have not undertaken to be your playmate. It's something I can never become. I hold myself too good for it.
Oh, you're proud.
In some ways, not in others.
Have you ever been in love?
We don't use that word. But I've been fond of a lot of girls, and once I was taken sick because I couldn't have one that I wanted. Sick, you know, like those princes in the Arabian Nights who cannot eat or drink for sheer love.
Who was it?
You cannot make me tell you.
If I ask you as an equal, ask you as a friend, who was it?
It was you. Yes. As you say, it was ludicrous. That was the story, you see, which I didn't want to tell you a while ago. But now I'm going to tell it. Do you know how the world looks from below? No, you don't. No more than do hawks and falcons, of whom we never see their back because they're always floating about high up in the sky. I lived in the cotter's hovel, together with 7 other children and a pig, out there on the gray plain, where there isn't a single tree, but from our windows I could see the wall surrounding the Count's park and the apple trees above it. That was the Garden of Eden, and many fierce angels were guarding it with flaming swords. Nevertheless, I and some other boys found our way to the tree of life. Now do you despise me?
Oh, stealing apples is something all boys do.
You may say so now, but you despise me nevertheless. However, once I got into the Garden of Eden with my mother to weed the onion beds, nearby stood a Turkish pavilion shaded by trees and covered in honeysuckle, and I didn't know what it was used for, but I had never seen a more beautiful building. People went in and came out again, and one day the door was left wide open, and I stole up and I saw the walls covered with pictures of kings and emperors, and the windows were hung with red fringed curtains. Now you know what I mean. I had never been inside a manor, and I had never seen anything but the church, and this was much finer. No matter where my thoughts ran, I returned always to that place, and gradually a longing arose within me to taste the full pleasure of envy. I sneaked in. I looked and admired. Then I heard somebody coming. There was only one way out for fine people, but there was for me another, and I could do nothing else but choose it. Then I started to run. I plunged through a hedge of raspberry bushes, chased right across the strawberry plantation, and came out on the terrace where the roses grew. And there I caught sight of a pink dress and pair of white stockings. That was you. I crawled under a pile of weeds, ran into it, into stinging thistles and wet, ill-smelling dirt. And I saw you walking among the roses, and I thought, if it be possible for a robber to get into hell and dwell with the angels, then it is strange that a cotter's child here on God's own earth cannot go into the park and play with a count's daughter.
Do you think all poor children have the same thoughts as you had in this case?
If all poor... Yes. Of course. Of course.
It must be a dreadful misfortune to be poor.
Oh, Miss Julie. Oh, a dog may lie on her ladyship's sofa. A horse may have his nose patted by a young lady's hand, but a servant, well, here and there you meet one made of different stuff, and he makes his way for himself in the world. But how often does it happen? However, do you know what I did? I jumped into the Millbrook with my clothes on, and I was pulled out and got a licking. But the next Sunday, when my father and the rest of the people were going to my grandmother's, I fixed it so I could stay home. And then I washed myself with soap and hot water, and I put on my best clothes, and I went to church where I could see you. I did see you, and went home determined to die. But I wanted to die beautifully and pleasantly without any pain. And then I recalled that it was dangerous to sleep under an elder bush. We had a big one that was in full bloom, so I robbed it of all its flowers and put them in a big box where the oats were kept, and I lay down in them. Did you ever notice the smoothness of oats? Soft as it touches the skin of a human body. However, I pulled down the lid and closed my eyes, and I fell asleep and was waked up a very sick boy. But I didn't die, as you can see. What I wanted, that's more than I can tell. Of course, there was not the least hope of winning you, but you symbolize the hopelessness of trying to get out of a class into which I was born.
Narrate splendidly. Do you know? Did you ever go to school?
A little. But I've read a lot of novels and gone to the theater a good deal. And besides, I have listened to the talk of better class people, and from that I have learned most of all.
Do you stand around and listen to what we're saying?
Of course. And I've heard a lot, too. When I was on the box of the carriage or rowing the boat, once I heard you, Miss Julie, and one of your girlfriends.
Oh, what was it you heard then?
Well, it wouldn't be easy to repeat. But I was rather surprised that I couldn't understand where you had learned all those words. Perhaps at the bottom, there isn't quite so much difference as they think between one kind of people and another.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. We don't live as you do when we are engaged.
Is that so certain? Well, Miss Julie, it won't pay to make yourself out so very innocent to me.
The man on whom I bestowed my love was a scoundrel.
That's always what you say. Afterward.
Always.
Always, I believe, for I have heard the same words used several times before on similar occasions.
On what occasions?
Like the one of which we were speaking, the last time.
Stop. I don't want to hear anymore.
Nor did she, curiously enough. Well, then I ask permission to go to bed.
Go to bed? On Midsummer Eve?
Yes. The dancing with the mob out there is really no attraction to me.
Get the key to the boat. Take me out on the lake. I want to watch the sunrise.
Would that be wise?
Sounds as if you were afraid of your reputation.
Why not? I don't care to be made ridiculous, and I don't care to be discharged without recommendation, for I am trying to get on in the world. And then I feel myself under a certain obligation to Christine.
So it's Christine now.
Yes, but it's also you. Take my advice and go to bed.
Am I to obey you?
For once and for your own sake. The night is far gone. Sleepiness makes us sprung, and the head grows hot. Go to bed. And besides, if I'm not mistaken, I hear a crowd coming this way to look for me. And if they were to find us together, then you are lost.
I know the people, and I love them just as they love me. Let them come, and you'll see.
No, Miss Julie. They don't love you. They take your food and spit at your back. Believe me. Listen to me. Can't you hear what they are singing? No, don't pay any attention to it.
What is it they're singing?
Something scurrilous about you and me.
How infamous! They ought to be ashamed. The treachery of it.
The mob is always cowardly. And in such a fight as there is nothing to do but run away.
Run away? Where to? We cannot get out. And well, we cannot go into Christine's room.
Oh, we cannot? Well, into my room then. Necessity knows no law, and you can trust me, for I am true and frank and a respectful friend.
But think only. Think if they should look for you in there.
I shall bolt the door. And if they try to break it open, I'll shoot. Come. Come.
And you promise me?
I swear. There you are. And you heard, didn't you? Do you think it possible to stay here?
No, I don't think so. What are we to do?
Run away. Travel far away from here.
Travel. Yes, but where?
To Switzerland. The Italian lakes. You've never been there?
No. Is the country beautiful?
Oh, eternal summer. Orange trees, laurels. Ah.
But then, what are we to do down there?
I'll start a hotel. Everything first class, including the customers.
Hotel.
That's the life, I tell you. Constantly new faces and new languages, never a minute free for nerves or brooding. No trouble about what to do, for the work is calling to be done. Night and day, bells that ring, trains that whistle, buses that come and go, and gold pieces raining on the counter all the time. That's the life for you.
Yes, that is life. And I?
The mistress of everything. The chief ornament of the house. With your looks and your manners, oh, success will be ensured. Enormous. You'll sit like a queen in the office and keep the slaves going by and touch with the touch of an electric button. The guests will pass in review before your throne and timidly deposit their treasures on your table. You cannot imagine how people tremble when a bill is presented to them. I'll salt the items, and you'll sugar them with the sweetest smiles. Oh, let us get away from here. At once, with the next train. We'll be in Malmö at 6:30, in Hamburg at 8:40 tomorrow morning, in Frankfurt and Basel a day later. And to reach Como by way of St. Gothard, it will take us, let me see, 3 days.
Oh, that is all right. But you must give me some courage, Jean. Tell me that you love me. Come, take me in your arms.
I should like to, but I don't dare. Not in this house. I love you, beyond a doubt. Or can you doubt it, Miss Julie?
Miss! Call me Julie. Between us, there can be no barriers here after all. Call me Julie.
I cannot. There will be barriers between us as long as we stay in this house. There is the past, there is the Count, and I have met another person for whom I felt such respect. If I only catch sight of her gloves on a chair, I will feel small. If I only hear that bell up there, I jump like a shy horse. And even now, when I see his boots just standing there so stiff and perky, it is if something made my back bend. It's nothing but superstition and tradition hammered into us from childhood, but it can easily be forgotten again. Let us go, let us only get to another country where we have a republic, and you'll see them bend their backs double before my liveried porter. You see, backs have to be bent, but not mine. I wasn't born into that kind of thing. There's better stuff in me, character. And if I only get hold of that kind of thing, that first branch, you'll see me do some climbing. Today I'm a valet. But next year I'll be a hotel owner. In 10 years, I can live on the money that I've made, and then I'll go to Romania and get myself in order. And I may, note well that I say may, end up my days as a count.
Splendid, splendid.
Yes, in Romania, the title of count can be had for cash. And so you'll be a countess, after all. My countess.
What do I care about all that now I cast behind me? Tell me that you love me. Otherwise, yeah, what am I otherwise?
I will tell you so 1,000 times. Later. But not here. And above all, no sentimentality, or everything will be lost. We must look at the matter in cold blood, like sensible people. Sit down there now, and I'll sit here, and then we'll talk as if nothing had happened.
Good Lord, have you no feelings at all?
I? No one is more full of feeling than I am. But I know how to control myself.
A while ago, you kissed my shoe, and now...
Yes, that was then. Now we have other things to think of.
Don't speak harshly to me.
No, but sensibly. One folly has been committed. Don't let us commit any more. The Count may be here at any moment. Before he comes, our fate must be settled. What do you think of my plans for the future? Do you approve of them?
They seem acceptable on the whole. But there is one question. A big undertaking of that kind will require a big capital. Have you got it?
I? Of course. I have my expert knowledge, my vast experience, my familiarity with several languages. That's the very best kind of capital, I should say.
But it won't buy you a railroad ticket even.
That's true enough. And that is why I am looking for a backer to advance the needed cash.
Where could you get one all of a sudden?
Well, it's for you to find them if you're to become my partner.
I cannot do it, and I have nothing myself.
Well, then that's off.
And...
Everything remains as before.
You think I am going to stay under this roof as your concubine? Do you think I'll let the people point their fingers at me? Do you think I can look my father in the face after all of this? No, take me away from here. From all this humiliation and disgrace. What have I done? Oh my God. Oh my God.
We've got to get around that tune now. What have you done? Nothing but what many others have done before you.
Now you're despising me. I'm falling.
Fall down to me, and I'll lift you back up again afterwards.
The horrible power drew me to you. Was it the attraction which the strong exercises on the weak, the one who is rising on the one who is falling? Or was it love, this love? Do you even know what love is?
Well, I should say so. Don't you think I've been there before?
The language you use and the thoughts you think.
Well, that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I am. Don't get nerves now and play the exquisite. For now, one of us is just as good as the other. Look, let me treat you to a glass of something superfine.
Where did you get that wine?
In the cellar.
That's my father's Burgundy.
Well, isn't it good enough for the son-in-law?
And I am drinking beer,
It shows merely that I have better taste than you.
Thief.
Do you mean to tell on me?
Oh, the accomplice of a house thief. Have I been drunk Or have I been dreaming all this night? Midsummer Eve, the feast of innocent games.
Innocent.
And can there be another human being on Earth as happy as I am at this moment?
But why should you be after such a conquest? Think of Christine in there. Don't you think she has feelings also?
I thought so a while ago, but I don't think so any longer. No. A menial is a menial.
And a whore is a whore.
Oh, God in heaven! Make an end of this wretched life! Take me out of the filth into which I am sinking! Save me! Save me!
I cannot deny that I feel sorry for you. When I was lying among the onions and saw you up there among the roses, I'll tell you now, I had the same nasty thoughts that all boys have.
And you, who wanted to die for my sake.
Among the oats. That was nothing but talk.
Lies, in other words.
Just about. I think I read a story in the paper, and it was about a chimney sweep who crawled into a box full of lilacs because a girl had brought a suit against him for not supporting her kids.
So that's the sort you are.
Well, I had to think of something, for it's the highfalutin stuff that the women bite on.
Scoundrel.
Rot.
And now you have seen the back of the hawk.
Well, I don't know.
And I was to be the first branch.
The branch was rotten.
I was to be the sign on the front of the hotel.
And I the hotel.
Sit at your counter, lure your customers, doctor your bills.
No, that I should have done myself.
That a human soul could be so steeped in dirt.
Well, wash it off.
You lackey. You menial. Stand up when I talk to you.
You lackey love. You mistress of a menial. Shut up and get out of here. You're the one to come and tell me that I am vulgar. People of my kind would never in their lives act as vulgarly as you have acted tonight. Do you think any servant girl would go for a man as you did? Did you ever see a girl of my class throw herself at anybody in that way? I have never seen it in the likes of it except among beasts and prostitutes.
That's right. That's right. Strike me. Step on me. I haven't deserved any better. I am a wretched creature. But help me. Help me out of this. If there be any way to do so.
I don't want to lower myself by denial of my share in this honor of seducing. But do you think a person in my place would have dared to raise his eyes to you if the invitation to do so had not come from yourself? I'm still sitting here in a state of utter surprise.
And pride.
Yes, why not? Although I must confess that the victory was too easy to bring any real intoxication.
Oh, strike me some more.
No. Forgive me instead what I have been saying. I don't want to strike one who is disarmed, and least of all, a lady. On one hand, I cannot deny that it has given me pleasure to discover that what has dazzled us below is nothing but cat gold, that the hawk is simply gray on the back also, and there is powder on the tender cheek, that there may be black borders on the polished nails, and that the handkerchief may be dirty, although it smells of perfume. But on the other hand, it hurts me to have discovered that what I was striving to reach is neither better nor more genuine. It hurts me to see you sinking so low that you are far beneath your own cook. It hurts me as it hurts to see you, the fall flowers, beaten down by the rain and turned into mud
You speak as if you were already above me.
Well, so I am. Don't you see? I could have made a countess of you, but you could never make me a count.
But I am born of a count. And that's more than you can ever achieve.
That's true. But I might be the father of a count thief.
Oh, but you are a thief, and I am not.
A thief is not the worst. There are other kinds further down. And then, when I serve in a house, I regard myself, in a sense, as a member of the family, as a child of the house. And you don't call it theft when a child picks a few berries that hang on the low-down vines. Miss Julie, you are a magnificent woman, and far too good for one like me. You were swept along by a spell of womanhood and intoxication, and now you want to cover up your mistake by making yourself believe that you are in love with me. Well, you are not, unless possibly my looks might tempt you. You in case that love is no better than mine. I should never rest satisfied with having you care for nothing in me but the mere animal. And your love I can never win.
Are you so sure of that?
You mean to say it might be possible that I might love you? Yes, without doubt. For you are beautiful, refined, educated, charming, and when you want to be so, and it is not likely that the flame will ever burn out in a man who has once been set fire by you. You are like burnt wine with strong spices in it, and one of your kisses.
Leave me alone. In that way you cannot win me.
How then? Not in that way. Not by caress and sweet words, not by thought of a future or escape from disgrace. How then?
How? I don't know. Not at all. I hate you, as I hate rats. But I cannot escape from you.
Escape with me.
Escape. Yes. Yes, we must escape. But I'm so tired. Give me a glass of wine. Oh, well, we must have a talk first. Oh, we have still some time left.
Don't drink so much, it will go to your head.
What difference would that make?
What difference would it make? It's vulgar to get drunk. What is it you wanted to tell me?
We must get away, but first we must have a talk. That is, I must talk. But so far, you have done all the talking, huh? You've told me about your life. Now I must tell you about mine so that we know each other right to the bottom before we begin the journey together.
One moment. Pardon me. Think first so that you don't regret it afterwards. When you have already given up your secrets in your life.
Are you not my friend?
Yes, at times, but don't rely on me.
You only talk like that. And besides, my secrets are known to everybody. You see, my mother was not of noble birth, but came of quite plain people. She was brought up in the ideas of her time about equality, women's independence, and that kind of thing. And she had a decided aversion to marriage. Therefore, when my father proposed to her, she said she wouldn't marry him. And then she did it just the same. I came into the world against my mother's wish, I've come to think. Then my mother wanted to bring me up in a perfectly natural state. And at the same time, I was to learn everything that a boy is taught so that I might prove that a woman is just as good as a man. I was dressed as a boy and was taught how to handle a horse. It could have nothing to do with the cows, no. I had to groom and harness and go hunting on horseback. I was even forced to learn something about agriculture. And all over the estate, men were set to do women's work, and women to do men's. With the result that everything went to pieces, and we became the laughingstock of the whole neighborhood. At last, my father must have recovered from the spell cast over him, for he rebelled. And everything was changed to suit his own ideas. My mother was taken sick. What kind of sickness it was, I don't know, but she fell often into convulsions, and she used to hide herself in the garret or in the garden, and sometimes she stayed out all night. And then came the big fire, of which you've heard. The house, the stable, the barn were all burned down, and this, under circumstances which made it look as if the fire had been set on purpose. Well, the disaster occurred the day after. Our insurance expired, and the money sent for renewal of the policy had been delayed by the messenger's carelessness, so that it came too late.
Don't drink anymore.
What does it matter? We were without a roof over our heads, and we had to sleep in the carriages. My father didn't know where to get money for the rebuilding of the house. Then my mother suggested that he try to borrow from a childhood friend of hers, a brick manufacturer living not far from here. My father got the loan, but was not permitted to pay any interest, which astonished him. And so the house was built up again. Hey. Do you know who set fire to the house?
Her ladyship, your mother.
Do you know who the brick manufacturer was?
Your mother's lover?
Do you know to whom the money belonged?
Wait a minute. No, I don't know that.
To my mother.
In other words, to the Count, if there was no settlement.
There was no settlement. My mother possessed a small fortune of her own, which she did not want to leave in my father's control, so she invested it with her friend.
Who copped it?
Exactly! He kept it! All this time. All of this came to my father's knowledge. He couldn't bring suit. He couldn't pay his wife's lover. He couldn't prove that it was his wife's money. That was my mother's revenge, because he had made himself master in his own house. At that time, he came near to shooting himself. It was even rumored that he had tried and failed. But he took a new lease on life, and my mother had to pay for what she had done. I can tell you, those are 5 years I'll never forget. My sympathies were with my father, but I took my mother's side because I was not aware of the true circumstances. From her, I learned to suspect and hate men. For she hated the whole sex, as you've probably heard. And I promised her on my oath that I would never become a man's slave.
And so you became engaged to the county attorney.
Yes, in order that he should be my slave.
And he didn't want to?
Oh, he wanted. But I wouldn't let him. I got tired of him.
Yes, I saw it in the stable yard.
What did you see?
Just that. How he broke the engagement.
That's a lie. It was I who broke it. Did he say he did it? The scoundrel.
No, he was no scoundrel, I guess. So you hate men, Miss Julie?
Yes. Most of the time. But now and then, when the weakness comes over me, oh, what shame.
And you hate me too?
Beyond measure. I should like to kill you like a wild beast.
As you make haste to shoot a mad dog. Is that right?
That's right.
But now there's nothing to shoot with. And there is no dog. What are we to do then?
Go abroad.
In order to plague each other to death?
No. In order to enjoy ourselves. A couple of days. A week. As long as enjoyment is possible. And then die.
Die? How silly. Then I think it's much better to start a hotel.
At Lake Como, where the sun is always shining, and the laurels stand green at Christmas, and the oranges are glowing.
Lake Como is a rainy hole, and I could see no oranges except in the groceries. But it's a good place for tourists. It has a lot of villas that can be rented by loving couples, and that's a profitable business. Do you know why? Because they take a lease for 6 months and they leave after 3 weeks.
Why after 3 weeks?
Because they quarrel, of course. But the rent has to be paid just the same, and then you can rent the house again. And that way it goes on for all time, and there is plenty of love, even if it doesn't last long.
You don't want to die with me.
I don't want to die at all. Both because I'm fond of living and because I regard suicide as a crime against the providence which has bestowed life on us.
Do you mean to say that you believe in God?
Of course I do. I go to church every other Sunday. Frankly speaking, now I am tired of all this, and now I am going to bed.
So, and you think that will be enough for me? Do you know what you owe a woman that you have spoiled?
You're welcome. I don't want to be in anybody's debt.
Do you know what the law provides?
Unfortunately, the law provides no punishment for a woman who seduces a man.
Can you think of any escape except by our going abroad and getting married and getting a divorce?
So suppose I refuse to enter into this mésalliance.
Mésalliance!
Yes, for me. You see, I have better ancestry than you, for nobody in my family was ever guilty of arson.
How do you know?
Well, nothing is known to the contrary, for we keep no pedigrees, except in the police bureau. But I've read about your pedigree in a book that was lying on the drawing room table. Do you know who your first ancestor is? A miller who let his wife sleep with the king one night during war with Denmark. I have no such ancestry. I have none at all, but I can become an ancestor myself.
That's what I get for unburdening my heart to one not worthy of it, for sacrificing my family's honor.
Dishonor? Well, what was it I told you? You shouldn't drink, for then you talk, and you must not talk.
Oh, how I regret what I have done. How I regret it. If at least you loved me.
For the last time, what do you mean? Am I to weep? Am I to jump over your whip? Am I to kiss you and lure you down to Lake Como for 3 weeks and so on? What am I to do? What do you expect? This is getting to be rather painful. But that's what comes from getting mixed up with women. Miss Julie, I see that you are unhappy. I know that you are suffering. But I cannot understand you. We never carry on like that. There is never any hatred between us. Love to us is a play. And we play at it when our work leaves us time to do so. But we have not the time to do so all day and night, as you have. I believe you are sick. I am sure you are sick.
You should be good to me. Now you speak like a human being.
All right, but be a human being yourself. You spit on me, and then you won't let me wipe myself. On you.
Help me. Help me. Tell me only what I'm to do. Where am I to turn?
Oh, Lord, if only I knew that myself.
I have been exasperated. I have been mad, but there ought to be some way of saving myself.
Stay right here and keep quiet. Nobody knows anything.
It's impossible. The people know, and Christine knows.
They don't know, and they would never believe it possible.
But it might happen again.
That's true.
And the results.
The results? Where was my head when I didn't think of that? Well, then there is only one thing to do. You must leave at once. I can't go with you. And then everything would be lost. So you must go alone, abroad, anywhere.
Alone? Where? I can't do it.
You must. And before the Count gets back. If you stay, then you know what will happen. Once on the wrong path, one wants to keep on, as the harm is done anyhow. Then one grows more and more reckless, and at last it all comes out. So you must get away. Then you can write to the Count and tell him everything that happened, except that it was me. He would never guess it. Nor do I think he would be very anxious to find out.
I'll go if you come with me.
Are you stark mad, woman? Miss Julie, to run away with her valet. It would be in the papers in another day, and the Count could never survive it.
I can't leave. I can't stay. Help me. I'm so tired, so fearfully tired. Give me orders. Set me going, for I can no longer think. I can no longer act.
Do you see what good-for-nothings you are? Why do you strut and turn up your noses as if you were the lords of creation? Well, I am going to give you orders. Go up and get dressed. Get some traveling money. And then come back again.
Come up with me?
To your room? Now you're crazy again. No, you must go at once.
Can't you speak kindly to me, Jean?
An order must always sound unkind. Now you can find out how it feels.
Goodness gracious, how the place looks. What have you been up to anyhow?
Oh, it was Miss Julie who dragged in the people. Have you been sleeping so hard that you didn't hear anything at all?
I've been sleeping like a log.
And dressed for church already?
Yes. Communion today.
Oh, yes. I remember now. And there you've got the finery. Well, come on with it. What's the next today?
Oh, about John the Baptist beheaded, I guess.
That's going to be a long story. My, but you choke me. Oh, I am so sleepy. So
Well, what has been keeping you up all night? Why, man, you're just green in the face.
I've been sitting here talking to Miss Julie.
She hasn't an idea of what's proper, that creature.
Say, Christine.
Well?
Isn't it funny, anyhow, when you come to think of it? Her.
What is it that's funny?
Everything.
So you've been drinking together also.
Yes.
Shame on you. Look me in the eye.
Yes.
Is it possible? It's possible.
Yes, it is.
That's worse than I could ever have believed. It's awful.
Oh, you're not jealous of her, are you?
No, not of her. Had it been cloudy, then I'd have scratched your eyes out. Yes, that's the way I feel about it. I can't tell you. Oh my, but that was nasty.
Are you mad at her then?
No, but you. It was wrong of you, very wrong, poor girl. No, I tell you, I don't house any longer with people for whom it is impossible to have.
Why should you have respect for them?
And you, who are smarty, can't tell. You wouldn't serve people who don't act decent, would you? To lower oneself, I think.
Yes. But it ought to be consolation to us that they are not any better than we.
No, I don't think so. For if they're no better, then it's no use trying to get up to them. And just think of the Count. Think of him who has had so much sorrow in his day. No, I don't want to stay here any longer in this house. And with a fellow like you, too. It had been if it had been the county attorney, if it had been someone of her own.
Now look here.
Yes. Yes. You're all right in your way. But there's some difference between one kind of people and another. No. But this is something I'll never. You couldn't believe she would want to come near her. So one at that. And she would have poor Diana shot because she had running around with the gatekeeper's pug, Claire. But I don't stay here any longer. And next October, I get out of here.
And then?
Well, as we've come to talk of that now, perhaps it would be just as well for something that we're going to be married.
Well, what could I look for? As a married man, I couldn't get a place like this.
After all. No, I understand that. You could get a job as, or maybe as a messenger in some government bureau. Of course, the public loaf is all what it comes to.
That's good and well. But it isn't my style to think of dying all at once for the sake of a wife and children. I must say my plans have been looking towards something better than that kind of thing.
Your plans, yes. But you've got obligations also. And those you had better keep in mind.
Now don't get my dander up by talking of obligations. I know what I've got to do anyhow. However, we've plenty of time to think of all this. Go on in now and get ready, and we'll go to church.
Who's walking up here?
I don't know, unless it be Clara.
It can't be the Count, do you think? Who's come home without anybody hearing him?
The Count. No, it is impossible, but then he would have run from me.
Well, God help us all. Never have I seen the like of it.
Now I'm ready.
Hush. Christine is awake.
Did she suspect anything?
She knows nothing at all, but my heavens, how you look.
How do I look?
You're as pale as a corpse, and pardon me, but your face is dirty.
Let me wash it then. Now, give me a towel. Oh, that's the sun rising.
And then the ogre bursts.
Yes, ogres and trolls were about last night. But listen, Jean, come with me. Now I have the money.
Enough?
Enough to start with. Come with me. For I can't travel alone today. Think of it, midsummer day, on a stuffy train, jammed with people who stare at you, and standing still at stations when you want to fly. No, I cannot. And then the memories will come, childhood memories of midsummer days, when the inside of the church was turned into a green forest, birches and lilacs, the dinner at the festive table with relatives and friends, the afternoons in the park, dancing, music, and flowers, and games. Oh, you may run and run, but the memories are in the baggage car, and with them, remorse and repentance.
I'll go with you, but at once, before it's too late, this very moment.
Well, get dressed then.
But no baggage. It would only give us away.
No, nothing at all. Only what we can take with us in the car.
What have you got there? What is it?
It's only my Finch. I can't leave it behind.
Did you ever? Dragging a bird cage along with us? You must be raving mad. Drop the cage.
The only thing I take with me from my home? The only living creature that loves me since Diana deserted me. Don't be cruel. Let me take it along.
Drop the cage, I tell you. Don't talk so loud. Christine can hear us.
No! I won't let it fall into strange hands. I'd rather have you kill it.
Well, give it to me and I'll wring its neck.
Yes. But don't hurt it. Don't. No, I cannot.
Let me, I can.
My little birdie must have died and go away from its mistress.
Don't make a scene, please. Don't know if it's a question of your life, but your future. Come quick.
No! You should have learned how to kill chickens instead of stone.
You should have learned how to kill chickens instead of shooting with the revolver. You wouldn't be fainted at the sight of blood.
Kill me too! Kill me! You can take the life of an innocent creature without turning a hair. Oh, I hate you! I despise you! There was blood between us. Cursed is the hour when I first met you. Cursed is the hour when I came to life in my own mother's womb.
Well, what's the use of all the cursing? Come on.
No, I don't want to go yet. I cannot. I must see. Is a carriage coming up the road? You think I cannot stand the sight of blood? You think I'm as weak as that? I would like to see your blood. Your brains on that block there. I should like to see your whole sex swimming in blood of that thing there. I think I could drink out of your skull, bathe my feet in your open breast, and eat your heart from the spit. You think that I am weak. You think that I love you because the fruit of my womb was yearning for your seed. You think that I want to carry your offspring under my heart and nourish it with my blood. Bear your children. Take your name. Tell you. What are you called anyhow? I have never heard your family name. Maybe you don't have any. I should become Mrs. Hovel. Mrs. Backyard. You dog. There, that's wearing my collar. You lackey with my coat of arms on your buttons. And I should share you with my cook. Be the rival of my own servant. Oh. You think I am a coward and I want to run away? No. Now I'll stay. And let the lightning strike. My father will come home and he will find his chiffonier opened, the money gone. Then he'll ring twice for the valet. Then he'll send for the sheriff, and then I shall tell everything. Everything! Oh, but it will be good to get an end to it. If it only be the end, and then his heart will break and he dies, so there will be an end to all of us. And all will be quiet, peace, eternal rest. And then the coat of arms will be shattered on the coffin, and the Count's line will be wiped out. But the lackey's line goes on in the orphan asylum, wins laurels in the gutter, and ends up in jail.
There spoke the royal blood. Bravo, Miss Julie. Now you put the miller back in his sack.
Christine, help me against this horrible man.
What kind of performance is this on the Sabbath morning? My, what a mess you've made. What's the meaning of all this? And the way you shout and carry on.
You are a woman, Christine. You're my friend. Beware of that scoundrel.
While the ladies are discussing, I'll let myself go get a shave.
You must understand me. You must listen to me.
No, really, I don't understand this kind of trolloping. Where are you going in your traveling dress with his hat on? What?
Listen, Christine, listen. I'll tell you.
I don't want to know anything.
You must listen to me.
What is it about? Is it about this nonsense with Jean? I don't care about it at all. It's none of my business. And if you're planning to get him away with you, we'll put a stop to that.
No, Christine, please try to be quiet. Christine, listen to me. I cannot stay here. And John cannot stay here. And so we must leave. But now I have got an idea, you know. Suppose all three of us should leave, go abroad, and go to Switzerland. Start a hotel together. I have money, you know, and Jean and I could run the whole thing, and I thought you could take charge of the whole kitchen. Wouldn't that be fine? Say yes now. Come along with us, then everything's fixed. Oh, say yes.
Mm-hmm.
You've never traveled, Christine. You must get out and have a look at the world. You cannot imagine what fun it is to travel on a train. Constantly new people, new countries. And then we get to Hamburg and take in the zoological gardens in passing. That's what you like, right? And then we go to the theaters, to the opera. And then we go to Munich there. And they have a lot of museums where they keep Rubens and Raphael and all those big painters. You know? Haven't you heard of Munich? It's where King Louis used to live. The king, the king that went mad. And then we'll have a look at his castle. He still has some castles that are furnished like a fairy tale. And from there, it isn't far to Switzerland. And the Alps, just think of the Alps with snow on top of them in the middle, in the summer. And then you have orange trees and laurels that are green all year round.
John is seen in the wing, sharpening his razor on a strop which he holds between his teeth and his left hand.
And then we get a hotel. And I sit in the office while Jean is outside receiving tourists and goes out marketing and writes letters. That's a life for you. The train whistles and the bus drives up and it rings upstairs and it rings in the restaurant. And then I make out the bills and I'm going to salt them too. You never imagine how timid the tourists are when they come to pay their bills. And you will sit like a queen in the kitchen. Of course, you're not going to stand at the stove yourself, and you'll have to dress neatly and nicely in order to show yourself to people. And with your looks, yes, I'm not flattering you. You'll catch a husband some fine day, some rich Englishman, for those fellows who are so easy to catch. And we grow rich, and we build us a villa at Lake Como. Of course, it's raining a little in that place now and then. The sun must be shining sometimes, although it looks dark and lit. Or else we can go home again and come back here or some other place.
Me, Miss Lee, at yourself.
Do I believe in myself?
Yes.
I don't know. I believe no longer in anything. Nothing. Nothing at all.
So you were going to run away?
John puts the razor on the table.
Well, that's putting it rather strong. You've heard what the young lady proposes, and though she is tired out right now by being up all night, it's a proposition that I can put through all right.
Now you tell me. Did you mean me to act as cook for that one there?
Will you please use decent language when speaking to your mistress? Do you understand?
Mistress?
Yes.
Well, listen to him.
Yes. It would be better for you to listen a little more and talk a little less. Miss Julie is your mistress. And what makes you disrespectful to her now should make you feel the same way about yourself.
Oh, I have always had enough respect for myself.
You have no respect for others.
Not to go below my own station. You can't say that the Count's cook has had anything to do with the groom of the swine herd. You can't say any of the kind.
It's your luck that you have had to do with a gentleman.
Yes, a gentleman who sells the oats out of the Count's stable.
What's that to you, who gets a commission on the groceries and bribes from the butcher?
What's that?
And so you can't respect your master and mistress any longer. You.
Are you coming with me to church? I think you need a good sermon on top of such a deed.
No, I am not coming to church today. You can go by yourself and confess your own deeds.
Yes, I'll do that. And I'll bring back enough forgiveness to cover you also. The Savior and we go to him with a believing heart and a repentant mind. He'll take all our guilt on himself.
Do you believe that, Christine?
Sure, I stand here. My childhood, which I have kept since I died.
Oh, if I had your faith. Oh.
Yes, but you don't get it without the special grace of God, and that is not bestowed on everybody.
On whom is it bestowed then?
That's just the great secret of the work of grace, Miss Julie. The Lord has no regard for persons. prepare those that are last shall be foremost.
Yes, but that means he has regard for those that are last.
And it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to get into heaven. That's the way it is, Miss Julie. Now I'm going, however, alone. And as I pass by, I'll tell the stableman not to let the horses, if anybody should like to go anywhere before the Count comes home. Goodbye.
Well, ain't she a devil? And all for the sake of a finch.
Never mind the finch. Can you see any way out of this? Any way to end it?
No.
What would you do in my place?
In your place. Let me see. As one of gentle birth, as a woman, as one who has fallen. I don't know. Yes, I do know.
Julie picks up the razor.
Like this?
Yes. But please observe that I myself wouldn't do it. For there is a difference between us.
Because you are a man and I am a woman. What's the difference?
It is the same as that between man and women.
I want to, but I cannot. My father couldn't either. That time he should have done it.
No. He should not have done it. For he had to get his revenge first.
And now it is my mother's turn to revenge herself again. Through me.
Have you not loved your father, Miss Julie?
Yes. Immensely, but I must have hated him too. I think I must have been doing so without being aware of it. But he was the one who reared me in contempt for my own sex, half woman and half man. Whose fault is it that this has happened? My father's? My mother's? My own? Well, I have nothing that is my own. I haven't a thought that didn't come from my mother, not a passion that didn't come from my father, and now this last. This about all human creatures being equal, I got that from him. From my fiancé, whom I call a scoundrel for that reason. How can it be my own fault to put the blame on Jesus, as Christine does? No, I'm too proud for that, and I know too much, thanks to my father's teachings. And that about a rich person not getting into heaven, that's just a lie. And Christine, who has no money in the savings bank, she wouldn't get in anyhow. Whose is the fault? What does it matter whose it is, but just the same? I am the one who must bear the guilt and the results.
Yes, but the Count is back. Think, if Christine...
Now he's been to the chiffonier.
It is Jean, your lordship. Oh, yes. Yes, your lordship. Yes, your lordship, at once. Oh, in a minute, your lordship. Yes. In half an hour.
What did he say? Oh, Lord Jesus, what did he say?
He called for his boots, and he wants his coffee in half an hour.
Half an hour, then. Oh, so tired. I can't do anything. I can't repent. I can't run away. I can't stay. I can't live. I can't die. Help me now. Command me, and I'll obey you like a dog. Do me this last favor. Save my honor and save his name? You know what my will ought to do and what it cannot do. Now give me your will. Make me do it.
I don't know why, but I cannot now either. I don't understand it. It's as if this coat here has made me... I cannot command you. Oh, that damned menial is back in my spine again. I believe if the Count should come down here, and if he should tell me to cut my own throat, I would do it on the spot.
Make believe that you are he, and I am you. You did some fine acting when you were on your knees before me. When you were the nobleman, or have you ever been to a show and seen one who could hypnotize people? He says to his subject, get the broom, and the man gets it. He says, then sweep, and the man sweeps.
But then the other person must be asleep.
I am asleep already. There's nothing in the whole room but a lot of smoke. And you look like a stove that looks like a man in black clothes and a high hat, and your eyes glow like coals when the fire is going out. And your face is a lump of warm ashes. How warm and nice it is. So light. And so peaceful.
He puts the razor in her hand.
There's the broom. Now go, while it is light, to the barn, and...
Thank you. Now I shall have rest. But tell me first that the foremost also received the gift of grace. Say it, even if you don't believe it.
The foremost? No, I can't do that. But wait, Miss Julie, I know. You are no longer among the foremost. Now you are among the last.
That's right. I am among the last of all. I'm the very last. Oh, but now I cannot go. Tell me once more that I must go.
No, now I cannot do it either. I cannot.
And those that are foremost shall be the last.
Don't think. Don't think. Why are you taking away my strength to so that I become a coward? What? Oh, I thought I saw the bell moving. To be that scared of a bell. Yes, but it isn't only the bell. There's something behind it. A hand that makes it move and something else that makes the hand move. But if you cover up your ears, just cover up your ears, then the ringing is worse than ever. It rings and rings until you answer it, and then it's too late, and then comes the sheriff, and then... It's horrid, but there is no other end to it. Go.
Thank you for joining us for Miss Julie. A big thanks again to our friend, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. Visit him at his website, shakespeareapproves.com, or on Facebook at Shakespeare Approves, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. We've got links to all of his content and more in the comments of this video. We'd also like to thank all of our actors who volunteered to read with us tonight. Feel free to come on camera, everybody. Say hello to anybody who's still watching. If you've enjoyed this reading, all of our past readings are available on our Facebook page, a little better organized on our website, zenithplayers.com. If you want more information on us, including how to be involved in a reading like this one and be one of the pretty faces you see around me, you can go to our Facebook page, Zenith Players, and send us a message, or send an email to casting@zenithplayers.com, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. We let you drink wine on camera. We want to continue to express our support to everyone out there who is working to keep us safe and those continuing to protest and demonstrate. Join us next Friday, December 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern for Agamemnon by Aeschylus.